This video was recorded in front of a live virtual audience. Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Today we're going to be reviewing the latest release from the Christian Dior Maison Dior fragrance range. I think they're up to like 50 by now. No, I'm kidding, but over 30 perfumes are out there by now. So this one just launched now. I did manage to secure myself a little exclusive sample. EDEN ROC, or EDEN ROC, or EDEN ROC, or however you pronounce it in French. But we're going to get into the detail of why it's called this way and what it means in just a second. Thumb up this video if you're liking it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube if you haven't already, but like my content. You can also go further and push the join button next to the subscription button and become a member today. Gain access to extra perks by joining the membership sister/brotherhood of the Fashion Bunker. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, and gain access to extra perks there as well. Thank you to all my members and patrons who have already pledged, and thank you to all my co-reviewers who are live in the chat right now, because this video is being filmed live in front of a virtual audience. So thank you guys so much. I see you in the scrolling in the bar here on the side. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's spray this perfume on. I got a 2 ml sample that headed my way. This one was just launched literally days ago. So we're filming in May. It might have been launched maybe in April already secretly, but kind of official launch is May 2021. I'm gonna spray it here. Well, let's spray it on the back as well, because on my skin, perfumes develop differently here than they do there. So I kind of tend to do both sides. Francois de Machy, darling, what are you up to now as a perfumer, head perfumer of the House of Dior? What are you up to now? So 2021 is the release of this perfume. Let me read with you together. Let's read together what the Dior website claims about this perfume, because they do have a little description. Now, Francois de Machy said he's moving away from telling us what ingredients are in the perfumes. He doesn't want that. He just wants us to envision stories. But you know, perfume heads like us, we want to know the ingredients as well, girl. Like, don't push that. I'm not going to tell you what's in the perfume. You're just going to like, come on, we can sniff stuff out. But anyway, let's see what he or what Dior wants us to know about this perfume. As I'm smelling it, the name, simply named EDEN ROC, the new Maison Christian Dior fragrance, is a vibrant ode to the most emblematic of luxury hotels along the French Riviera, the Hôtel du Cap EDEN ROC. Sorry for butchering the name. The EDEN ROC fragrance is the olfactory image of this cape, whose exceptional locale evokes the lavish, sun-bathed atmosphere of this true Mediterranean paradise. Character of the fragrance. EDEN ROC is the expression of an irrefutably simple and natural beauty, that of a sea salt crystal placed on the tip, just the tip, I promise, of the tongue, of bronzed skin warmed by the sun, of the protective canopy offered by a pine tree in the south of France. You see, he's not giving us ingredients, he's giving us the character. He wants us to smell this and envision that. All I could remember is the tip. But anyway, distinctive feature. The fragrance unfurls salty olfactory notes like diving into the Mediterranean Sea. The color. The EDEN ROC fragrance reveals itself in 3 colors: blue, like the sea and the transparent waters of a divine pool. A divine pool. Another evocation there. Yellow, like the sun stretching its rays onto the rock and leisurely bodies. Green, like the freshness of the pines standing tall in the hotel's lush garden. Now we're going to get to the family. The family is sensual. Sensual. EDEN ROC is a woody floral fragrance, a simultaneously vegetal and mineral composition, a fresh and luminous evocation of the pleasures of the French Riviera. Its sunny trail of white flowers, its marine notes and aromatic accords bring to mind the radiant beauty of this landmark cape on the Mediterranean. The intensity of EDEN ROC. EDEN ROC is a fragrance that mixes the freshness of the sea with the warmth of the sun's beating rays and the shade of pine trees. Okay. This is kind of also a little bit the image. You see, this is kind of like the piney image that it gives us with jasmine flowers. Then it gives us also a little kind of image of the video that you could watch. This is kind of the rays of light sparkling through the wet bottle of Eden Roc with the blue sky in the background. That's another visual that Dior offers us. Then Dior offers us like the visual of the bottle next to its packaging. And and then we got Francois Demachy also being like, well, let me sniff it. Yes, this is an interesting perfume. It smells good. Let's develop it further. Okay, so that's what Dior tells us. And Olfactive Story says, I'm curious about the floral notes in that one now. We're going to get to them in just a second. Not liking this, we can already tell, says Gauthier. Really? Can you already tell? Did you try it, Gauthier, yet? The official video thumbnail will end Eden Roc, LOL. Olfactive Stories, don't ruin my hopes, guys. Okay, now let's get to business. Okay, so what we do have, my little notebook here, sea salt top notes, which I was really curious about. I was like, really, sea? I always like salty stuff, as chemical and artificial synthetic as they are, always like that. Citruses and mineral notes. What's a mineral note? Like smelling a crystal? Again, salt is also a mineral. So we got sea salt and then mineral notes. So they're both kind of two different aspects of salt. Potentially middle notes, jasmine, mastic or lentisque, and coconut. Base notes, pine tree and labdanum. Now labdanum, we usually see labdanum positioned in the mid notes. Truth be told, also pine tree. I mean, tree notes, woodsy notes are usually at the base. So I guess the pine tree here in the base makes sense. Although I would see that smelling, well, I smell it through already in the top notes. It is very beachy. It does have a sun-bathed or sun-kissed type of smell. The saltiness does not transpire as much to me. However, that bit of saltiness that does transpire, it's like a very, very toned down version of that caviar note that they call a caviar note, but it's actually also just salt in Womanity. So it does have a reminiscence of Womanity there, you know, that salty, savory. Let's not call it salt because because when I tell salt, what you guys immediately think of is the taste of it biting your tongue. Don't think about the taste of salt. Try to translate that taste, forget about the taste and translate that into smell. That's kind of how this, because they tell you salt and then when you smell it, immediately your tongue closes up like you're eating pure salt. But that's because it's a subliminal, it's kind of messaging. It's like manipulating you to believe that it's there, but it's not really there. But however, it's a savory element that does saltify, it does create a mineral smell to it. And I like that mineral smell. I got to say, the salty and the mineral together work well for me in the opening notes. Citruses, I couldn't care less for those, but they're there as well. They got to zhuzh it up, pep it up a bit. Francois Demachy always says, you know, we don't do aldehydes at Dior. So this could have benefited from a bit of aldehydes, but it's okay that they're not there because it's a typical Dior smell. It's more, aldehydes sparkle things up, but Dior fragrances don't sparkle. They have this depth to them, this alluring, inviting thing that calls you into the crevices and the caves of Dior's velvet. That's what Dior perfumes are more about. You know, Chanel's aldehydes are more about the sparkle up there. And the Dior's are always kind of this beautifully... Dior fragrances create a velvety womb in which to kind of sink into. That's kind of the strength also of the Maison Dior fragrances. So in a way, I get it that they don't want to go into that aldehyde direction, which is fine. Why not? They don't have to. You know, not everybody has to do aldehydes. But so now this is the interesting part here, this coconut point and the jasmine in the middle notes. So a lot of people have been reporting who have already tried Eden Roc. It's so bizarre with this coconut note. People either say there is absolutely no coconut in here, and other people say, oh my God, at a certain point during the dry down, all I smell is the coconut. So I've been testing this out for a short while, and I can tell you that on my skin, the coconut does not develop as prominently. So it's maybe I'm just an oddball here because people say either it's like all about the coconut or there's no coconut at all. I feel like the coconut here doesn't smell like coconut, but rather the coconut is an interesting element that manages to soften the jasmine. It softens the salty aspect of it. It even softens the pine. I mean, we're going to get to the pine tree and the labdanum later, right? Because in the base notes, but it softens all up. It feels like the coconut is utilized as a butter in this fragrance to create that, what I mentioned before, womb effect of a Dior perfume that kind of lures you into this cuddly, warm, fluffy, fuzzy space, which is ultimately why we love Dior Maison fragrances at the end of the day. You could say they're a bit lame, you could say they're not full of character, a lot of them are meh, but all of them have that inviting, cuddly aspect to them, which is because of A, lack of aldehydes, and B, because in each one of them, Dimashi implements one element that creates that cuddling, luring aspect. The cuddling, luring aspect is the coconut, which is for me masterfully blended. It doesn't smell of coconut, but I see how the coconut, creates that buttery, warm, summery vibe, luring all the ingredients in together into one womb. So the coconut to me works because it is not omnipresent. So I'm curious how many of y'all's out there that have tried Eden ROC get only the coconut at a certain point, because I don't. To me, it blends in masterfully. It is utilized in a very intelligent way to balance out all the other ingredients and kind of just, cover them up, lubricate. It's used as a lubricant, okay? The coconut oil / butter in this perfume is used as a lubricant for all the other ingredients, and it works well as such because it also binds them together. Now, let's get to the pine tree and the labdanum and the base notes. I don't know what to tell you guys. The labdanum here, if it's in here, it doesn't... Le Lion de Chanel is, as of late, like one of the from the newer releases of the perfume world. Le Lion de Chanel, I think I have it here. Like you want to smell labdanum almost in its pure resinousy form, this is the way to go. Okay, you smell Le Lion de Chanel. Damn, mine is aging well. Ooh, cha smells like hay. Labdanum hay resins, okay? You don't get that heavy. Labdanum has a wonderful potential. You can do so much with labdanum. You gotta know how to dose it. You could overdose it. You could underdose it. It's a little bit underdosed in Eden ROC. Or you could dose it just right. I mean, Le Lion is overdosing it, but Le Lion needs the overdose of labdanum, and it's a wonderful quality of labdanum in Le Lion de Chanel. So it's all about the labdanum, right? Well, not just, you could check out my review of Le Lion de Chanel, card section up above, description box down below. So I get in depth about all of the aspects and facets of Le Lion de Chanel. So forget about that for a second. Go watch that video after you've seen this one. Back to the labdanum here. Oh, and thumb up this video if you're liking it thus far, you guys, and subscribe to my channel. Just a reminder, a little friendly reminder to y'alls. It's so bizarre because even the jasmine is very toned down. I mean, there is, when Dior does jasmine, it does its own jasmine. The jasmine that Dior does smells of, how to say, it's synthetic. And I think it's like a mutant of a jasmine. It doesn't smell of a classic jasmine. Like, for example, what you get from the indolic jasmine in Joy, or the jasmine in Chanel No. 5, for example, just to name two examples. No, the jasmine that Dior implements in its fragrances always has a different vibe to it. It's not overpowering, and it's not indolic at all. Again, we have this womb, cocoony, luring in smell. Yes, it does smell of fresh ocean breeze, totally does. And it smells like not heavy in your face suntan lotion. It smells like ocean breeze coming at you with, at a far, far distance, somebody has some suntan lotion on, and you get a little bit of that suntan lotion from afar, just hints, just faint traces of it. That's the coconut. From a far distance, just like the jasmine, it smells like it's really, really far away. And this is the fascinating part of this perfume. It gets me at a point where I understand the visuals, because this is, okay, one aspect I don't like about the perfume, it's connected to this really rich hotel, one of the most expensive hotels on that Riviera. So it's like only for the rich. So it's like very snobby to begin with. So I don't like when the storyline goes into the direction of like, well, not everybody can experience this, but you can buy the perfume and, you know, that's the next best thing. Not cool. But since we're already there at that expensive resort, blah, 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 hotel, and then you got private beaches. So I'm thinking you're alone on this beach because you're so rich that you could afford being on that beach, and it's a private beach and everybody else is really far away from you. So that's why you only get hints of certain smells. And that's kind of the masterful manipulating mind of Demachy working on this perfume, because nobody's too close to you, because you're that rich. You could, you know, you have your bodyguards, you have people, nobody comes close to you. So you smell from a distance the smell of suntan lotion, because that person that's wearing the suntan lotion cannot come close to you. So you just get a little waft of it, right? The jasmine blooming somewhere in the distance off the beach shore, you get just wafts of it because you are on that beach, on that rocky beach, close to the water, glistening sun. We're close to sunset. It's around, 6 p.m. You're just about to pack up and go get ready and get your evening dress done for the nights, because dinner, and the red carpet event is going to happen. So, we're at that point or moment in time where you get those hints of body lotion, suntan lotion from somewhere else, hints of jasmine from somewhere else, and wafts of that salty ocean. In this case, Mediterranean is not an ocean. It's a semi-ocean. Sea, okay? The sea. Mediterranean Sea. It kind of blows into you because there's a bit of wind, a little bit of breeze, and behind you, on that trail that leads you back to your hotel, you have the pine trees, right? And the pine trees that are symbolic to that particular coastline, that are symbolic to that particular aesthetic of that particular rich hotel, those elegant, voluptuous pine trees. And now, cypress, I think it's more cypress than pine that is present in Granville, also by Maison Dior. Granville, which is in their exclusive range, only available in some countries, only available online, together with Onois and Mitza. So Granville is also not really accessible to everybody, but Granville has more the cypress going for it, which I find really alluring and interesting, how Demachy does cypress. But it has a piney vibe to it, Granville. So I was thinking, when this one came out, I was thinking, is this going to have a little bit of hints of Granville in it? But no, not at all. It doesn't go in that area at all, except for the fact that the pine feels almost in this perfume like it comes from the family of the cypress, but it's not quite the cypress and it's not quite the pine like we're used to in historic fragrances like Pinot Silvestre or Felce Azzurra. All of these, well, that's more, but anyway, there's a type of pine that we're used to from history that is not in here. History of perfumes and smells that we're kind of, from a mundane point of view, we're used to smelling when we think about pine. It's not in here in that way. It is sublimated. There's a sublimation of pine. Everything is enhanced to smell more opulent, more rich, more decadent, even though the perfume stays relatively close to the skin. Nothing groundbreaking. It's expensive. It smells of an expensive beach, right, on the French coast, and a very subtle. It's a very, very subtle close. It's like an expensive perfume that you put on just for yourself, to feel it around yourself and just enhance that feeling, that vibe of luxury even more. It's a luxurious summer scent, is what it is. But it's kind of a cooling or cold scent for me. It doesn't lure me in. It doesn't make me want to keep spraying on more. Like, You know, I'm addicted to my EAU NOIRE. So check out the review of this one and the unboxing of this one and the comparison of this one with the cologne, also on my channel. Card up above, description down below as well. This one keeps me wanting more. I just, you know, and when it's kind of like drying down on my skin, I even sometimes sniff it out of the bottle. I love it so much. It's so deep and intense. But this one annoys me after a while. And I don't know what it is. It's like after a while, it loses that luxury allure, that fake illusion of being this snobby woman on the pebbly beach shore with her huge, you know, hat that covers her face completely, you know, the white hat. She has a white scarf around her neck in some tulle or silk, maybe even tulle is better. And, you know, she has her, you know, white breast hole, you know, her whole kind of, she's all dressed in white, impeccable, no stains, she's clean, red nail polish on, white sunglasses. I mean, you know, that vibe, that zhuzh that you get from this, it smells of that. But that smell annoys me after a while. I'm like, okay, now I want to get a bit dirty too. I don't want to stay this like clean, boring, aseptic, stick up your butt type of bitch on the beach shore. I want to live a little, you know, see the sexy guy who's, you know, controlling that nobody drowns in the sea and then flirt with him, the beach boy and, you know, the towel boy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call them. Those people that work in these expensive resorts and kind of get down and dirty with it a little bit, you know? But no, this doesn't go there. This one stays in that kind of vision of just like superficial luxury. And it's that superficial luxury that I'm like so bored of. It's like, okay, we, you know, been there, done that. We've seen that. We know what that is. You need to make a 30th perfume in the lineup of the Maison Dior fragrances. Okay, but then give us something new. You want to talk about luxury on the seashore? This is easy luxury. You know, it's like this rich, opulent, boring, nothing happens every day, all day luxury. And I get bored of it. So even I get bored of the smell. Like after like 1 hour, 30 minutes, I'm like, it's nice, but it bothers me. I want to put something else on instead. So it's masterfully blended, well done, well conceived, well constructed, but just meh, you know? And it doesn't make me want to purchase a bottle. And also interesting, so here develops more the oily aspect of the perfume, which I prefer. On this part of my body, it smells more synthetic. It develops differently here. And I always say this, you always test perfumes on both spots. You're going to see they're going to develop very differently on each and every one of y'all's. It's going to be different smelling here than here. Every perfume, not just this one. Ah, okay. I'm warming it up with my nose, so I'm popping out the molecules quicker. I do smell the jasmine when I warm it up and I pop it out. It's a very green jasmine. Jasmine is a white floral, but jasmine has green facets to it as well. This is the greenest jasmine you're going to get. That's why initially I was like, where's the jasmine here? It smells so distant. Because it didn't go for the actual flower internal indolic aspect of the flower. They actually gave us more that distant green smell of jasmine. It's a synthetic jasmine. Let me see in the ingredients if they actually list the real jasmine extract. No, there is no. It's a synthetic component. Substitute for jasmine is in here, but not jasmine. So, you know, it's fine. Most jasmines are synthetic nowadays. You're going to rarely find a perfume that actually utilizes natural jasmine. It is very expensive. So even Maison Dior utilizes synthetics. You know, it is what it is. So I get more of the coconutty, buttery aspect up here. Here, that buttery, because maybe my skin is also more dry, it sucks up the oils quicker. So what stays here usually are florals and metallic notes for me on my skin with fragrances. So I sense out the metallic, citrusy, and certain floral notes more here than I do here. That's generally what happens with my skin. But yeah, it's it's okay. You know, if you're into this type of vibe, if you're feeling that zhuzhy mode of like just being in the moment, feeling that rich, decadent opulence on the beach, but like boring opulence, a boring luxury, then go for it. I would suggest getting it if you really wanted it now, because usually Dior, when they launch a new perfume for their Maison range, they also offer the 40 ml bottles, which are the cheapest and smallest, just for a limited time online, and then they take them off. So TOBACOLOR was available in their 40 ml. Now it's already not available in 40 ml anymore, even though it was launched just a short while ago. So I believe that EDEN ROC is going to go through the similar thing, like you're going to see it now, and then in a month it's going to be gone, and then you're going to have to buy 125 ml or 250 ml bottles, which are not the best bottles to buy if you're just going to blind purchase it or test it out. If you really, really collect these Dior perfumes, and there's a new one that just came out, which is EDEN ROC, and you think, oh, you want to blind buy it, get it sooner than later because of the 40 ml online purchase option. It's still expensive for a 40 ml perfume, but at least you don't gotta buy 120 ml, 125 ml. For me, it's a no. I'm not gonna be purchasing a full bottle. Thank you for watching my review. Let me get to your comments. It's definitely not worth the price tag, says David. I'd stick with Balade Sauvage and Chance Eau Vive. Ah, David also had a question. Does it smell anything like Chance Eau Vive, right? Chance Eau Vive, or did you want me to compare it to Eau Fraiche? Well, I'll compare it to both. Eau Vive has sandalwood at its core. Synthetic sandalwood, but Chance Eau Vive has sandalwood. It starts with the blood orange, it ends with sandalwood. This one doesn't end with sandalwood. So the dry down is very different. Eau Vive becomes warmer as it dries down. This one becomes more pinier and metallic as it dries down. So they're quite different at the dry down point. Somewhere in between, yeah, there's a little bit of a vibe of Eau Vive, but Eau Vive has more zest. Eau Vive is also more synthetic. Eau Vive is a mass-released product. This is a niche product. So Eau Vive utilizes more metallic components, really, smelling, and this one less. So yeah, and Eau Fraiche, not in the dry down, no. Doesn't compare to Chance Eau Fraiche either. Olfactive Story says, I don't mind boring if it's well made and if it talks to me. In fact, I love Kabuki Rose, and some people find it boring. Well, Olfactive... Jesus says, meh is the new damn. I think, Olfactive, that you will appreciate how it's blended. But knowing you, and I know the perfumes that you like and what you post on your Instagram profile, I know the type of perfumes that you write about and that you like. I think this one, I think you will respect it, but I don't think you're going to end up purchasing a full bottle. I don't know, because knowing your taste a little bit now, it lacks a little something, something dirty. Yeah. I'm curious to know. Maybe on your skin it develops in a totally different direction, Olfactive, so you end up like getting a bottle. But it's not just boring. No, it's not just boring, but it annoys me after a certain time. On Keeping Up with the Kardashians, says Aisha, they go on a family holiday to a resort called EDEN ROC back when Caitlyn was Bruce. That's exactly EDEN ROC. That's the most expensive part of that part of the Riviera, of the coast in France, and that's where the Kardashians went as well. So this is, I guess, their perfume. I wonder if it's aimed at a young market, says Aisha. The young rich kids, maybe, I don't know. As the great Jesus would say, it's just meh. Yeah. I read that already. Never smelled this perfume, but somehow it feels like it's trying too hard. Would you say, Mr. Philip Fabulous? No, I wouldn't say it's trying too hard. It's kind of effortless. It smells like, you know, like rich people with a lot of money just get bored of life because you have no struggles in life. You don't have to struggle for money. So you find other problems in life because as a human being, you always need to have some problems, right? So you get depressed. You get depressed because life is depressing. Just living is depressing. You know that type of rich when you don't even know how much money you got anymore. That's how rich you are. And then everything bores you because you have everything already. You own everything. You own everything. And you have everything. And then you just get bored. That's kind of what this smells like, of that type of richness, of just, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's perfume. Smells of the sea. I'm on the beach every day. Can't anymore. Like that type. So it's effortless. It doesn't get much more effortless than this. It's just like, and it's there. And it could be cool to kind of taste that type of lifestyle through a smell for a day or two, but it really irks me after a while. So I kind of rub it off or wash it off. Jesus says Dior's jasmine is metallic. Yeah, it does have that green metallic vibe about it. Kira says beach vibes. Oof, hard pass. Yeah, very beachy, very beachy. I love the jasmine in Grand Bal, says Olfactive Stories. I have used coconut oil as a lubricant very successfully, I might add, said Mr. Philip Fabulous, but not successful with latex. Word of caution. Factor says maybe the coconut is used for the beachy vibe. Also, the coconut is what gives us that vibe of a distant suntan lotion coming in from a distance. No similarities to Balade Sauvage, says David. No similarity. Balade Sauvage is all about the fig. There's no fig in here. It will be very interesting to try this one, says Aisha. David says, I don't smell coconut either. Factor says, does it share some similarities with Balade Sauvage? No, it does not. It does not at all. I like it salty, Mr. Philip Fabulous. Yeah, I do. Have Humanity and Olympia. I'm good on salt. Oh, you like salt, Debbie. You got Humanity and you got Olympia. The salty aspect is more present in the opening. It kind of turns more metallic the more time passes, and this perfume gets more annoying with time. So it's one of those perfumes that are made for today's day and age where they want to sell them to you quick and easy. So they make the opening smell already amazing. You get convinced if you don't know better about perfumes, You smell the opening notes, you really like them, you buy it, you go home, the next day you're like, what did I just do? So this is one of those that they really worked well on it in the opening, and then the more it dries down and the more you're like, ugh. I agree on the Humanity similarity, says David. Very accurate. Thank you, David. Car Cruise says, wait a minute, hold on. This sounds right up my alley. Oh, well then, good. Try it out. As I said, get the 40 ml if you really want to blind purchase it, because, don't get the big bottle. What if you don't like the perfume? Told you, crystals, salts, it's all rocks, says Mr. Philip Fabulous. Yes. Yeah. Is it effortless chic, kind of Hermes-like? No, that's a good question, Olfactive Stories. So to me, if you ask me about how do I envision the effortless chic of Hermes, it's the Hermescence range, not their main perfumes. Because the Hermescence, so the main perfumes are made, Clarins makes their perfumes, but apparently Hermes produces their own fragrances for the Hermescence range. So it's a different laboratory. So the Hermescence range, Cuir d'Ange. Cuir d'Ange to me is the quintessential Hermes fragrance. That effortless chic smell of almost the interior of a Kelly bag when it's new, that's Cuir d'Ange. That to me is effortless chic. Okay, this doesn't go there because something in it screeches at a certain point. Something in here doesn't flow anymore. Something in here turns a bit depressing, which is that depressed rich thing I was talking about before. And then it doesn't flow anymore. It becomes a bit rough. It comes a bit like it doesn't do this anymore, but it does like, And that's when I lose interest in Eden ROC, when the flow stops. And the flow is there in the opening, but it's not there in the dry down. While really effortless chic Hermescence range fragrances, in particular Cuir d'Ange, it keeps that flow going, mama, till the very end. Yeah, we don't have that level. That level of effortless chic is not here. But then again, to be honest, it's really hard to reach Jean-Claude Elena's Cuir d'Ange Effortless Chic. I mean, that's yeah, I think even Hermès hasn't topped themselves after Cuir d'Ange with the effortless chic aspect of fragrances. They haven't topped themselves after Cuir d'Ange, for my nose at least. I will try it for sure, says Olfactive. If I don't like it, I'd just stick to Balade Sauvage. Balade Sauvage is amazing. I would stick to Balade Sauvage. I have a bottle of Balade Sauvage. Check out the review also on my channel of that one. Balade Sauvage is much better than this. Definitely. More character too. You like the Louis Vuitton on the beach better? Oh, good question. Yes, I do. I do, Red Frag. I do. If I had to compare Eden Roc to On the Beach, I would go for On the Beach. But check out the review of my Louis Vuitton On the Beach, also on my channel. As of now, as I'm posting this video, I haven't posted On the Beach review yet, but I have filmed it already, so it's coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Sandra Sambach by Hermès is effortless chic to me, to the max. Love that one, says Jizzes. Jack says, don't think I'll be checking this one out. Somebody might really like this. To me, it just doesn't do it. It doesn't do it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this review. Hope you've liked it. Thumb up this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel. You can also push the join button, become a member today and gain access to extra perks such as being listed in the scrolling bar here at the side as a co-producer of the Fashion Bunker at the end of every video. Same applies to all my patrons. You can join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together over on Patreon. You get to see extra videos that don't come to YouTube over on Patreon, as well as when you are a tier 2 member on YouTube. You also get to rewatch the entire reruns of live streams, as well as exclusive videos and exclusive live streams shot just for and with you guys as members. You can also join me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, superdacob all spelled together, and you can also join me on my Chanel dedicated Instagram profiles. One is called Coco Chanel is in my house, all spelled together, dedicated to my Chanel collection and whatever the Chanel brand is up to today. You can also join me on Coco Chanel Privé, all spelled together, dedicated to the life of Chanel. Oh my gosh, social media world is taking over my life. It's expanding more and more and more. I have the feeling like with every week passing, you gotta add a new social media app, platform, this, that, new YouTube channel opening up here and there. It's all crazy. But that's, I guess, our lives are getting quicker and quicker, snappier and snappier. And before you know it, the life is over. And what have you lived? You've lived through the virtual reality of a glass or plastic screen where somebody tells you something about their lives that might not or might be true, but it's definitely there to make you feel miserable about your life. At least mine is that way. Whenever I get to watch other social media platforms, I'm like, woe is me, woe is me. It's kind of that miserable first world problem that lady dressed in all white on the beach at Eden Roc on the beach has. She's, all alone, so rich that she's untouched by everybody, and she's just bored with life because she already has everything. So she's just bored. Thank you for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.